Now, folks, I know that Donald Trump is corrupt is basically just kind of accepted wisdom at this point, but I genuinely, we need to talk about this one, because I feel like he hit a new low, which is really saying something. And I think that we all need to really just, in our hearts and within like the center of our politics, we need to make sure that when we get through all of this, there is some kind of accountability for this level of corruption, not just in Donald Trump, but in those around him as well, right? So obviously, Donald Trump pardoned Henry Cuellar, which, if you don't know what Henry Cuellar did, he was taking money from foreign governments to basically advocate on their behalf illegally as a member of Congress, to the tune of $600,000. And, well, after being pardoned, Donald Trump was pretty upset. Largely because, in his mind, pardoning Henry Cuellar should have been the moment that Henry Cuellar then decided to run as a Republican and be a Republican. Because Henry Cuellar was never a progressive. He was a conservative Democrat. To the point where, like, many people basically considered him a Republican. And, well, Donald Trump figured he could buy a political favor. Like, that's what this was. This was an attempt to buy a member of Congress. And he's pretty upset that that attempt does not appear to have panned out the way he was hoping it would. Can you imagine the Democrats under the crooked Joe Biden administration, who always use extreme force and jail time to destroy their political opponent, wanted to put Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife, Imelda, in prison for 15 years, which I predicted these radical left lunatics would do. And they never stopped wanting to fulfill this evil quest. You know it's him writing this, by the way, because he's just absolutely bonkers. Right?
It's been a hot minute, Jack. But
Ashley!
BWA everyone.
Ashley, thank you for the 10 gifted tier 1 subs. Girl, thank you so much. And thank you for helping to invent the internet. And thank you for that BWA energy. But look at this. Look at this. He's talking like he's DMing the evil quest. You know, like, you can tell it's Donald Trump because he's just a big old weirdo. The Dems mercilessly went after Henry with everything they had. They were looking to destroy him, his lovely wife, his 2 young daughters, and anyone close to them. When the Democrats overwhelmingly lost the 2024 presidential election, and power with it, they regardless did everything they could.
Why do all these posts sound like a bad DM narrating a campaign?
Because that's basically what he is, Uncle Simric. Let's be real. Let's be real. Okay? They did everything they could to keep going after the Cuellar family. The Dems were vicious, and all because Henry strongly wanted, correctly, border security. He was against illegals pouring into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted. The congressman didn't want gang members, drug dealers, violent prisoners, people from mental institutions, and yes, even murderers in the good old USA. It was all very unfair what they were doing to him and his family, so much so that his daughters wrote me a beautiful letter about their parents, just posted on Truth. After reading it, I decided, in the interest of justice, and based on the daughter's loving request, that I would give Henry and Imelda a full and complete pardon. I never spoke to the congressman, his wife, or his daughters, but felt very good about fighting for a family that was tormented by very sick and deranged people. They were treated so badly. I signed the papers and said to people in the Oval Office that I just did a very good, perhaps life-saving thing. I love the implication here is like, perhaps life-saving. Who else do we know that Donald Trump knew and was good friends with who died in prison? Who else do we know, chat? Just as an aside. God was very happy with me that day. Then it happened. Only a short time after signing the pardon, Congressman Henry Cuellar announced that he will be running for Congress again in the great state of Texas, a state where I received the highest number of votes ever recorded, as a Democrat, continuing to work with the same radical left scum that just weeks before wanted him and his wife to spend the rest of their lives in prison, and probably still do. Such a lack of loyalty. Something that Texas voters and Henry's daughters will not like. Oh well, next time, no more Mr. Nice Guy. President Donald J. Trump. And guys, that's not even it. We're not even at the this is funny in and of itself. And also, in a just world, would result in him immediately being removed from power for very clearly trying to buy the favor of a congressman, right? But I want to play you an interview with Henry Cuellar that happened on Fox News.
Have you considered switching parties?
Look, I'm a Democrat. I'm probably one of the most, if not the most, bipartisan Democrat. And as I told some of my Republican friends on the House floor, I vote better than some of the Republicans in the Republican caucus, and they agree with me. I just feel that, I follow the words of President LBJ, where he said many years ago, I'm an American, I'm a Texan, and I'm a Democrat, in that order. And
can we just say, like, are you gonna switch parties? I'm a Democrat. Fuck off, I'm a Democrat.
Think anybody that puts party before?
Like, this man, don't get me wrong, even as a Democrat, this man should not be in office, should not be in power. Like, he's hopelessly corrupt, and he should just go the fuck home, right? But it is very funny that in return for being pardoned, like, just carte blanche for his crime, he's just like, well, look, I'm not switching parties for the president of the United States.
Their country is doing a disservice to their country.
Okay, but President Trump is out with a new Truth Social today on your decision to run again as a Democrat. And the president is saying, oh, well, next time, no more Mr. Nice Guy. He's talking about the fact that you are going to continue to work with the same radical left Democrats.
Can I just say one of the biggest abdications of any kind of journalism, and look, I know we shouldn't expect anything like this from Fox News, but I just read to you the full Truth Social post, and it reads like a goddamn lunatic wrote it, right? But Fox News every single day is just sane washing the entire thing, right? And it's just like they leave out the part where he's like demanding loyalty from this man he pardoned as if it's a quid pro quo situation.
What do you want to say about the president's Truth Social this morning?
Well, again, let me just say this. I was at church this morning with my wife. I prayed for the president. I prayed for his family. And I prayed for the presidency, because if the president succeeds, the country succeeds.
Now, I want you all to understand something about the South. If you don't understand anything about the South, saying in response to a question like that, well, I was in church and I was praying for the president, that's the biggest go fuck yourself you can have. That's the biggest, like, go fuck yourself. No, it's not, I'm a good person, I go to church. It's, oh, that man has a lot of things you need to pray for. It is the bless your heart of politics. And it is a very polite way of saying, go fuck yourself.
And again, as probably the most bipartisan.
Bless his heart. He really seems to need some blessings. Like, if you were to translate it into, like, catty, like, church wife talk, it would be 1000% like, oh, have you seen her? Oh, looks like she needs some of the Lord's blessings. Let's all make sure we're praying for her. You know, like, oh, did you see? It's basically the equivalent of being like, did you see that raggedy ass bitch? Oh, I hope she finds a man with money. Like, it's something along those lines, you know, if I were to translate it.
Individual, I don't vote party. I vote for what's right for the country. And in fact, you know, when I got that rate by the Biden administration, they did it 40 days before a primary, where the far left had spent were spending total about $20 million that we know of on that. So they did this right before that. So again, I am a conservative Democrat, but I will work with the president. I've reached out to his administration. I told him, you know, name the folks, you know, Tom Homan, Christie, other folks that say, hey, can we sit down? I'd love to sit.
Yeah, like this guy, don't get me wrong, this guy is a piece of shit, though. This guy is a piece of shit. Like, if you're willing to have a sit-down chat with Tom Homan, the guy who, like, 6 years ago was getting called out by Holocaust survivors for what ICE was doing back then, and you still want to sit down with that man now? Now, get the fuck out of here. We don't need you in politics right now. You do not live up to the moment, sir.
Down and see what we can find common ground. I sit on
oh no, he's not a Dem being feckless, right? To be feckless means to be cowardly and to not want to stand up for what you believe in. This man just straight up doesn't believe in like what progressives and most Democrats believe in. You know, like, he's not being feckless. He's just being a conservative with a D next to his name.
Defense appropriations. I sit on Homeland appropriations.
Yes.
And if I can work and find common ground, then I certainly want to do that.
Have you considered switching?
God. Anyway, this entire thing, like, guys, just to put a bow on it, holiday pun intended, Donald Trump used his power of pardon in order to try and buy the loyalty of a man in order to get another seat in the House of Representatives. Right? Like, that's what happened. He's desperate, and he's trying to shore up Republican support in Congress. And so he thought he could buy this man. He thought, this man's corrupt, I'm corrupt, I can buy him. That, like, I am convinced that is exactly the thought process. And the one silver lining here is that apparently Henry Cuellar is still very interested in running and trying to get back into power as a Democrat. And so his interests do not align with Donald Trump's in this particular moment. And it is very funny to see. So all that being said, let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, do the thing, especially the comment thing. It really helps the channel. And also consider supporting the channel financially. Subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. All of them help to make this show possible. Couldn't do it without you fine folks. And finally, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. That's Imogene Olivia lingerie. Gender euphoric lingerie, designed from the ground up for trans femmes, but cis men, cis women, everyone in between has tried it out. Everyone seems to be loving it. Super comfortable, non-tuck, and check it out. Again, ImogeneOlivia.com. There should be a link down there in the doobly-doo. And with that being said, let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.